98.1 of AM 1220 on this Thursday, October 24th, and we are celebrating. I didn't know we were going to celebrate until my special guest just walked in, Brian from Poole Shaffery, and we're celebrating because why, Brian? Why are we celebrating?
Well, because no longer are we Poole Shaffery, but we're Poole Shaffery and Koegle, LLP.
Congratulations, dude.
Thanks, Tori.
You've been with that firm like 15 years, right?
That's correct. Just over 15 years.
And now you walk in and you see that sign, and there is your name right in front of you.
It is pretty remarkable.
Smacks you right in the face as you walk in.
Well, listen, it's kind of one of the nice steps that you get to enjoy as an attorney in these processes. I've shown a ton of loyalty. They've shown a ton of loyalty in return. Working with John Shaffery and with David Poole has been just a complete blessing for me. And this is kind of part of the next plan, creating a legacy within this firm.
Interesting. I love that your name is Koegle, and it doesn't look like that, though.
Not anywhere near it, no.
Koegle, is that correct?
That's exactly right.
Okay. So it doesn't look like Koegle, but it's Koegle.
That's correct.
You have to trust us.
Right, exactly. Great-grandparents changed it when they came over on the boat.
You know what? And I like it because it's different. Stand out from the crowd.
That's correct.
Don't be the Cagley people. Don't do that.
Exactly.
Am I right?
That's right.
Brian, you are a partner now with the law firm New Sign, Poole and Shaffery. What do you guys, is there a specialty that you guys have at the office?
So we brand ourselves as the law firm for your business. We do everything from soup to nuts, opening up a business with corporate formation, LLC formation, contracts, agreements, everything that you need to get a business off the ground. Mm-hmm. I head up our employment and labor division, so we do both transactional as well as litigation work. Mm-hmm. First, I try to keep employers out of trouble by giving them advice and giving them information so that they can make the fully informed decisions. Then, when they don't take my advice, I litigate on the back end.
Then you dig them out of the hole, right? What give me an example of advice that you would give. What's the biggest things, top 3 things on the list?
Well, right now, some of the hottest items that are going on are wage and hour compliance, especially as it applies to independent contractors. It's one of the things that we have been focusing on all year long because Assembly Bill 5 was signed by the governor about 4 weeks ago. Basically, it's changing the way that independent contractors are operating in California. Everybody's reading about how it affects the gig economy, Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, those type of folks. But quite candidly, it affects most businesses on Main Street. People who bring in consultants from the outside, people who bring in extra help when they're busy. They've always done this traditionally under an independent contractor mold,
Sure.
and you can't do it anymore.
Really?
Absolutely.
And this just happened?
It did. Just got signed in about 3 weeks ago. It becomes effective January 1, 2020, but it has a look backwards effect. So we were trying to get everybody into compliance before January 1 takes place.
So how do we become in compliance? Because I'm sure every single business, especially small ones, use outside contractors.
Absolutely. Most of them do in one way or another. So in those circumstances, we actually have to sit down, do an analysis, determine whether or not they do qualify under the very, very narrow exceptions that have been crafted by our legislature. And if not, we have to revert them back to being employees.
Wow.
It's a major change.
It's huge.
Yep.
And I don't think people realize this.
Well, it was starting to get some news press coverage right now. Unfortunately, we weren't out in front of it enough. I would have loved to have seen the Assembly bill knocked down, quite candidly. But now that we're dealing with it, we have to be reactive. We have to deal with things from a business-to-business basis, and we have to make sure that we get ourselves into compliance as quickly as possible.
Gotcha. And it's gonna take some work.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You got your shovels, start digging, right?
You got it.
So what about, I know a lot of actors in this town. We have a lot of actors.
Yes, we do.
And they are all incorporated. I don't want to say all. A huge part of them are incorporated.
Yes.
And I've never quite fully understood what that meant. I'm not an actor, but they would say, "Oh, I'm incorporated," and they have a credit card, and I don't get it. Could you explain what that means?
Well, within that industry, the reason that they're doing that is for tax incentives and tax purposes.
Okay.
They like to be able to write off certain expenses that go along with being their own corporate enterprise. Mostly, those loopholes have been closed over the last 5 years, and then with the passage of Assembly Bill 5, that's also going to reduce the enforcement or the ability to do that type of activity moving forward. There are a lot of different industries that are out there. I joke about the fact that if you're a law firm, for instance, you probably don't have somebody who does marketing in-house for you. So what do we do in those circumstances? We go outside and we hire a marketing company. Well, in that sense, that is a true independent contractor relationship.
Yeah.
But I've got to tell you, when we start ramping up for trial and all of a sudden we need more hands on deck to help us out and we need to bring in additional legal help, something that is core to our business model, those can no longer be independent contractors in the truest sense. We have to bring in folks on a temporary or part-time employment basis.
Wow. And I have to, now I know why your name is on the sign now. You're very passionate about what you do.
I love what I do.
You can tell. You can totally tell. One more question, because I know we have to let you go in a second or so. One more question, though. Big Me Too movement in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Huge Me Too. Have you been affected with that?
100%.
Yeah.
Our business has seen a significant uptick in the number of claims of sexual harassment in the workplace. We do a number of investigations trying to make sure that the company is in compliance with how they treat their employees, making sure that they're enforcing their policies on the front end. But we've also seen a significant uptick in the number of claims in Los Angeles County, especially in the number of litigated claims of harassment in the workplace.
Unbelievable.
Impacts us every single day.
Unbelievable. And I was just taking a shot in the dark on that one.
Yeah.
Brian, such a pleasure to have you here. We are going to do a quick check of traffic, and then I have a little bit. Can you just stick around one more minute?
Certainly.
I have a little bit of a surprise for you because we are still celebrating. Brian is on the sign. Brian, I don't know if KHTS it doesn't stand for KH Tory S. It doesn't.
It doesn't?
It doesn't.
Oh my.
I need to lobby, but in the meantime, let's go. I may ask for your services coming up. Let's take a quick look at traffic. It's been a little bit of a bear this morning, especially for the freeways. Southbound side of the 5 is looking a little bit better, but we had 2 separate crashes, one at Valencia, one down toward the 14, and it just made for a bumper-to-bumper ride. And it also started to affect the old road southbound, but the 14 is now looking a little bit better. Routine delays coming away from Golden Valley into the 5. If you continue to take the 5 all the way down into Burbank, it is bumper-to-bumper from the 405 all the way down to the Ventura Freeway. The 170 is no better. Both the 170 and the 5 have crashes. Both of them have crashes right now. That's traffic on your hometown station, KHTS. We are talking with Brian Koegle from Poole and Shaffery. Wait a minute. Now, there's a comma now. Poole, Shaffery, and Koegle.
You got
You're
it.
the and. You got the and with your name.
That's right. The ampersand is a very valuable tool in my business.
Huge. So before we went on the air, I said, you know what? We can't let this go. This is a big thing. You spend years in school and that you think will never end.
That's right.
Then you get a job. Then you become, big man on campus because you have employment. You're actually getting paid for it. You pay off your student loans. And all these years go by. You have a wonderful family with Poole and Shaffery. And now you become part of the sign. And Koegle, I said, we have to celebrate. We're not letting this go by. So I said, today is a Throwback Thursday.
Woohoo!
Brian, what song did you pick?
I got to tell you, there's great selections to pick from, but you got to go with Don McLean and American Pie.
It's all you, baby. It's all you. Congratulations. So glad you were here today.
Thank you so much.